Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another exciting episode of Universal You. Today, I will be sharing with you just how important what the Ascended Masters did for this planet is and was, but mostly is. Anyway, in the previous video, I mentioned light field ship and how it became this group Merkaba of light, and how it was used to move the Ascended Masters from Atlantis to Chem. And this was a very beautiful sight. For those of you who know how to access the Akashic records, I suggest that you experience this for yourself. I'll be into methods to access the Akashic records for this reason in a future video, but for now I would like to talk a bit about during the pole shift. Let me continue. According to the Emerald tablets of Thoth and the Toronto document, the Earth went into the void for 3.5 days. I'd like to talk a bit about memory and toroidal fields and the Merkaba. At this point, the Nikal, the original pantheon, they were protected by their activated Merkabas, and the reason that this is significant is that memory is maintained by a toroidal field that exists around the brain. And this field is connected to every cell in the brain by individual fields within each cell. In metaphysics, we like to say that you are a psychophysical unit. That means that your thoughts affect your body, and your body affects your thoughts. Anyway, memory is dependent on a steady living toroidal field around the brain. And those who survived the catastrophe in Atlantis didn't have their Merkabas activated. Now, what this means is that their memories were wiped. The synthetic Merkaba, created by the Martians, put the higher consciousness grid into a passive state, and as a result of the pole shift, they didn't have a toroidal field around their brains because their Merkabas weren't activated, and their memories were wiped. They found themselves in very sophisticated bodies, and, well, put simply, they didn't know how to use them. The population that survived basically had to start all over again. They had to learn how to keep warm and make fires. And they forgot how to breathe prana through their third eye, so they had to eat food again. They were thrown into an experience of reality that hadn't been apparent for a long time. And this was all a result of the synthetic Merkaba experiment by the Martians. If it wasn't for that small group of ascended masters, the Nephilim and the Syrians working in conjunction with higher consciousness, we wouldn't have survived at all. They barely keep they barely kept the consciousness grid alive. Anyway, fortunately, due to about 13,000 years of intervention by higher dimensional light beings and various light workers and awakened beings on this planet, we've made it. We've made it. A new consciousness has been birthed on this planet. And yeah, onwards and upwards, as they say. Now, I am going to go into a bit more detail on the steps that the Nakal and the Nephilim and the Syrians took to bring about awareness of higher consciousness and to reenact the notion of civilization. I spoke about it a bit verbatim in the previous video, but I really want to go into detail with it. I want to put a lot of care and love into it, which means I'm going to have to do a bit of research. Anyway, stay tuned to find out just exactly how civilization started and how culture originated and, you know, art and music and religion and politics and all these things that we are so familiar with now in civilization. I'd like to share with you how those things came about. Anyway, love and light. As always, a pleasure, and love yourselves.